Welcome all dear student friends. In today's session, we are going to talk about GATE exam. The reason behind recording this video is many of the students frequently ask me many of the times, sir, what is GATE exam? What this exam all about? What are the benefits of GATE exam? What is the eligibility criteria for GATE exam? In today's session is for all branches, students from all branches. We'll see a generalized structure of GATE exam, how to prepare for GATE exam and how to score maximum percentile in GATE exam. We'll also see what is score, what is percentile, what are the opportunities after GATE. Hello everyone, this is Vinod Todkari. Let me introduce myself. I am Vinod Todkari. In MTech, I am having gold medal. I am having university rank 1. I have cleared GATE exam 5 times with more than 90 percentile. The highest percentile was 96.79 percentile, and I am having more than 20 years of teaching experience. Now let us start with today's session. These are the contents of today's presentation. First of all, we'll see what is GATE exam and what are the opportunities after GATE exam. Then we'll see what is the eligibility criteria for GATE, and the GATE score is valid for how many years. Then the most important question, actually this would have been the first question, why should I take GATE exam? Why a student should write GATE exam? What are the benefits of GATE exam? What are marks, score and rank in case of GATE? What are the probable cutoffs of different PSUs or different IITs, NITs and foreign universities that we are going to see. Then we will see what are the myths about GATE exam. Then we will see what is the pattern of GATE exam, and after that we will see what should be the strategy to prepare for GATE. Then we'll talk about or we'll discuss preparation of the plan for GATE exam, and at the end we'll see do's and don'ts, and then I will recommend some of the books or study material which is good for GATE exam. So let us start. First of all, let us see what is the objective of GATE exam. As you know, GATE is Graduate Aptitude Test in Engineering. After graduation, we can take GATE exam. Now, why this exam is conducted? What is the objective behind this exam? So, first of all, see, it serves as the benchmark for normalization of undergraduate engineering education in the country. As we know that there are 875 universities in India. So, all the universities, they should be brought on a common platform. There should be a benchmark for normalization of the students, right? So keeping that in mind, this exam is conducted. Now, the second objective is to identify meritorious students and motivate the candidates for taking admission to post-graduation programs in engineering. GATE is not only for engineering, but it is also for pharmacy. It is known as GPAT. It is also for architecture. The exam is conducted at national level. Now, GATE is Graduate Aptitude Test in Engineering. The first question, graduate it is okay. After 4 years, you will get graduation of engineering. Graduate Aptitude Test in Engineering. Test and engineering, we are well familiar, we are well acquainted with these words. But what is this aptitude? Let me give a simple example. Aptitude is how fastly and how accurate you can work out. Let's talk about the key points. There are some shortcuts and formulas. Let's take a very simple example. Let's say we are supposed to carry out summation of first 100 numbers. That is, we want to work out how much is the value if I sum from 1 to 100. That is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Now there is one way which is conventional way. A student will go on calculating the things. 1 plus 2 is 3, then 3 plus 3 is 6, then 6 plus 4 is 10, 10 plus 5 is 15, and like this he will go on. And he will calculate what is the summation of 1 to 100. And at the end of the day, maybe after 1 hour, he will come out with the answer that the summation of 1 to 100 is 5050. Now, for aptitude, you have to think fast. You have to memorize some formulas. What is the formula? The formula for summation of n numbers is n into n plus 1 upon 2. So, if you know the formula that summation of n numbers is n into n plus 1 upon 2, what directly you can do? Now we have to carry out summation of 1 to 100. So value of n is 100. So sum of first 100 numbers will be n into n plus 1 upon 2. that is 100 into 101 upon 2. So what it will be? Simply it will be 50 into 101, that is 5050. See, within 10 seconds we can work out. Let's say if I want to work out summation of first 1000 numbers, simply it will be 1000 into 1001 upon 2. So within 10 seconds we can work out the figure. So this is what is called as aptitude. In aptitude, you must know the shortcuts, you must know the formulas, at the same time you must be accurate also. You should not make mistakes in calculations. Now, the second key point about aptitude is you should have very meticulous reading, very careful reading. For example, many times in the GATE exam this question is there, specifically for mechanical, this question is there, that entropy of the system always. Now students, they have memorized that entropy of the universe always increases, right? But here the question is about system. You know that system plus surrounding makes universe. Now students, they have memorized entropy of the universe always increases. So simply they tick option A, that increases. But in the question is not about entropy of the universe. The question is about entropy of the system. So a simple thing is that if the system reject heat, its entropy will decrease. If the system accept heat, what will happen? Its molecular disorder will increase and hence entropy will increase. So entropy of a system may increase or decrease depending upon whether the system is accepting heat or rejecting heat. Now, what happens, as many of the students, they have simply memorized, they will click option A, which is incorrect. In this case, which option is correct? The option C is correct, that it may increase or decrease. Now, what I mean to say that in case of GATE, you have to read the questions very carefully. You have to see each and every word, entropy of the system. So the question is about the system, so that entropy may increase or decrease. Okay, so these are the two key points. First is you have to memorize shortcuts and formulas. At the same time, you must be accurate. Second is you have to read the questions carefully. Now, what is the third key point? Very important key point. You should have in-depth knowledge and you should have that critical thinking ability. What I mean by in-depth knowledge? Now, what is knowledge and what is in-depth knowledge? Let's say, take a very simple example. This question is also from GATE exam. In case of electrical current carrying conductors, insulations are applied for. Now, a normal student, he has memorized that insulation is used to reduce the heat transfer rate. Insulation is used to reduce heat loss. But if someone has studied heat transfer in detail, if he knows the concept of critical radius of insulation, he knows that in some of the cases, the insulation is not only used to reduce the heat loss, but it is also used to increase the heat loss. If I specifically talk about electrical current carrying conductors, there we provide insulation in order to reduce not to reduce the heat loss, but to increase the heat loss. So, the ordinary student who knows only the concept of insulation, he will take option A, that is reducing heat loss, but he will get negative marking. You might be knowing that in GATE there is negative marking for MCQs. For multiple choice questions, there is negative marking. We'll come to that also, but at this moment, let me clear you that in case of GATE, there is negative marking for MCQs. If this question is for 1 mark, if you get correct answer, you will get +1. If you get wrong answer, you will get -1/3. If the same question is for 2 marks, if your answer is correct, you will get +2. If your answer is wrong, you will get -2/3, that is -0.66 marks. Okay, so in case of electrical current carrying conductors, the objective behind providing insulation is to increase the heat loss rate. So the option should be B. I think it is clear to you. Now let us focus about GATE. Now, as you know that GATE exam is conducted by ISC Bangalore and 7 IITs, 7 old IITs, right? Okay. Now, qualifying GATE is mandatory requirement for taking admission and financial assistance, mainly financial assistance. If you want to have stipend, you should have a valid GATE scorecard. Now, the most important thing, PSUs. What I mean by PSUs? Public sector undertakings, that is government organizations. They have been using GATE score in the recruitment process. Now, PSUs previously they used to conduct their separate process, but nowadays all of the PSUs, if you have a valid GATE score, you can get admitted over there. And the packages in PSUs, maybe Maharatna companies, Navratna companies and Miniratna companies is very high. The average package is almost 12 lakhs per annum. Okay, now we'll see what are the opportunities after GATE. The first opportunity is that you can pursue ME or MTech programs. Presently the stipend which is given to a postgraduate student is about 12,700. Now, as I mentioned, more than 100, to be more specific, it is 98. So 98 PSUs, that is public sector undertakings, like Bhabha Atomic Research Center is there, IOCL is there. They prescribe GATE qualification as a requirement. So if you are aiming at government sector, right, GATE is mandatory. Remember that. So GATE is very important. Next, now if you are aiming at foreign universities, for example in Singapore NTU is there, right? Many of the universities in Singapore and Malaysia, if you want to go there, if you have a valid GATE score, then you will get admission. You can secure your admission for PhD without GRE score. GRE, that is graduate record examination, is not required over there if you are having a GATE score card. Now, the common questions to what students ask me is that, sir, can I go for MBA after by giving GATE exam? Surprisingly, the answer to this is yes. Many of the students, they think that if I want to go for MEA or MTech, I should take GATE exam. If I want to go for MBA, I should go for CAT or CET. That is, if I want to go to pursue, let's say MBA from IIM, that is Indian Institute of Management, I should take CAT exam. If I want to go for MBA from private universities, I should go for CET exam, right? But see, by giving GATE exam also you can go for MBA, that too in a very good institute which is NITI Mumbai. The average package after passing out from NITI Mumbai is around 12 to 13 lakhs, right? So 2 years PG diploma course is there in industrial engineering, right? Okay, and the requirement is that you should have a GATE score, a good GATE score, and after a good GATE score, they will also conduct interview process over there. Now see, in short, GATE will open gate door of many of the good opportunities, right? Okay. The next is GATE qualified candidates are also eligible for junior research fellowship. We called, right, JRF, right? JRF is nothing but junior research fellow in CSIR laboratories, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. Some sponsored projects are there, so we'll get fellowship over there. Now let us talk about GATE 2021. IIT Bombay is the organizing institute for GATE 2021. Why this is important, which IIT is conducting GATE exam? Because based on that IIT, whichever IIT is going to conduct that exam, the weightage will vary. Undoubtedly, it will vary by a very small amount, let's say 4 marks, 5 marks. I'm talking about focus on various subjects. So whenever you start preparing, initially we should also see this dimension, that which IIT is going to conduct. Okay. Anyway. Now from this year onwards, GATE 2021, if you get the scorecard, let's say you get All India rank as 1, your GATE percentile is 99.99, or whatever is your percentile, if you are having a valid GATE score, that score will remain valid for 3 years from the date of announcement of results. So even if you are aiming at PSUs, let's say you want to take 1 year gap, right? So that scorecard will be valid for 3 years. Now, what is the eligibility? The eligibility criteria for GATE, that is from engineering, I'm talking about engineering and technology, is either you should have completed your graduation. The students who have completed their graduation, they can take GATE exam. The students who are in final year, that is B, they can also take GATE exam, and the students who are in pre-final year, that is third year students, can also write GATE exam. One of my students, Vaibhav Kumbhar, he was in third year, he appeared for GATE exam, and surprisingly, he did a lot of hard work. I should not say only surprisingly, but it was not expected that being a third year student, his All India rank was 4, and his GATE percentile was 99.98 percentile. So in third year also you can clear GATE exam, in final year also you can clear GATE exam with a very good percentile. Now, for any exam you should look at the pattern of the questions. Now, up to 2020, there were two types of questions. One is MCQ and one is NAT, right? From this year onwards, that is 2021, three types of questions will be there, right? MCQ, NAT and MSQ. Now we will discuss what is MCQ, what is NAT and what is MSQ. Now let us discuss one by one. First is MCQ, multiple choice questions. One question, four options, out of that one will be correct. If you tick the correct one, you will get +1. If you tick the wrong one, you will get -1/3. If the question is for 2 marks, if your MCQ is correct, you will get +2. If your MCQ is wrong, you will get -2/3, that is -0.66. I believe it is clear to you. It is very simple. One question, four options, A, B, C and D. If you tick the correct one, +1. If you tick the wrong one, -1/3. If you tick the correct one, +2 if it is for 2 marks, right? If it is wrong, then -2/3. This is multiple choice. In multiple choice questions, only one option is correct and 3 options are wrong. Now, the next type is numerical answer type questions. They also carry 1 or 2 marks. Now, in case of numerical answer type questions, let's say you are supposed to find out power output of a turbine, right? And if you come across the calculations, and let's say you get the answer as 186.76 watts. So you can round off that answer and you can write 187 watts or kilowatts, whatever may be the unit, right? Now, the most important thing is that in numerical answer type questions, there is no negative marking. And also there is a range. Let's say your answer is 187 and the range what is prescribed over there, that is while assessment, is let's say 185 to 190. If your answers fall in that domain, you will get out of marks. There is no like partial marking. If your answer falls in that range, you will get full marks. I believe that it is clear to you. Now see, these numerical answer type questions, they carry 1 or 2 marks. There is no negative marking. I repeat, there is no negative marking in case of numerical answer type of questions. Now, the third type of questions which are introduced from this year are multiple selection questions. What I mean by MSQs, what I mean by multiple selection questions, that for a question, more than one options, one or more than one options may be correct. So there may be a chance that A and B are correct, right? Now, for this also there is no negative marking as well as there is no partial marking. Afterwards we'll see that in detail. So at this moment you just remember that 3 types of questions are there. One is multiple choice questions, second is numerical answer type questions, and third is multiple selection questions, that is MSQs. Now, what is the eligibility criteria for GATE? Now, even if you are having backlog, many of the students, they ask me that, sir, I am having 2 backlogs, sir, I am having 3 backlogs, can I go for GATE? The answer is yes, you can go for GATE because it is going to be valid for 3 years. Even if you get backlog in final year, you can clear that backlog, and after that you can go for post-graduation or you can try for PSUs, right? Even if in 3rd year you are having backlog and now you are in final year and you are having 2 backlogs from 3rd year, then also you can go for GATE exam, right? Okay. How many attempts you can give? There are unlimited attempts. There is nothing like only 3 attempts are there or 2 attempts are there. You can go unlimited times. See, I have taken 5 attempts. 5 times I have appeared. 5 times I have got GATE score more than 90 percentile. It depends on you. I can take the exam 10 times also. This year, if you Google for the maximum age of a candidate who is taking 2021 GATE exam, it is 88 years. So there is no age limit also. There is no upper age limit. Undoubtedly, there is age limit for PSUs. If you can Google, you will get, let's say you are aiming at, let's say any Navratna company or Maharatna company, and let's say age limit for that, for let's say for your category. In that also categories are there. Open is there, right? OBC category is there. Physically handicapped category is there, right? So you should look at that age, right? Maximum age limit is there for every PSU or even for admissions at different IITs, right? Okay, what I mean to say that there are unlimited attempts. Okay, GATE score is valid for 3 years. Now these are the qualifications required. You have completed your graduation, or you are a final year appearing student, or you have done MSc, or you have done MCA or MA, then also you can take GATE exam. just now we discussed about age limit, that there is no upper age limit. We have discussed about validity. What we have discussed about validity? GATE score is valid for 3 years from 2021 onwards. Now, how many GATE papers I can take? Now, if you would have asked this question to me before 2021, that is in 2020 or before any 2020, the maximum papers which you can take was only 1. But now what is new from 2021? What is the change? From 2021 you can take 2 papers, right? But it is not like that. Let's say I am from mechanical and I want to take second paper as instrumentation or mathematics. It is not possible. They have prescribed. If you open the manual, they have prescribed. For example, if you are from civil engineering, your primary paper will be civil engineering, and also you can take one more paper, secondary paper. Either you can go for agricultural and planning, or you can take second paper as environmental science and engineering. It depends on you. Let's say you are from mechanical, so the second option is only XE. XE is what? Engineering science. So if you want to pursue your post graduation in thermal only, right, in engineering science paper, what is the advantage of this secondary paper? Only fluid mechanics, heat transfer and thermodynamics is there. So if you prepare that well, you can crack this secondary paper very well, right? So either you can take only one paper, that is mechanical engineering, or you can go for 2 papers. I believe that it is clear to you. Even if it is not clear to you, in comment box you can write your query and I will answer that query, right? But I believe that it is clear to you that from 2021 onwards, instead of taking only 1 paper for GATE exam, we can take 2 papers. Now, what are the opportunities through GATE exam? What is the first opportunity? You will get job in public sector undertakings, government undertakings, which are those Maharatna companies, Navratna companies and Miniratna companies. Around 98 companies are there. What is the second opportunity? You can go for higher studies. You can either go for MTech or MS or PhD in good Indian universities like IITs and NITs. You might be knowing that 23 IITs are there and 31 NITs are there, right? And in both institutes, right? Apart from this also, some private universities are there, some government universities are there, right? So you can go for MS or MTech over there. Then you can go for higher studies in foreign universities like Singapore and Germany. In Germany, if you want to go for higher studies, right, what you should have? Only you should have a GATE score card, and along with that you should have a letter in which it is written that I have taken all papers in English. And see, in India, I believe almost all the universities, they conduct engineering program in English language only. So in short, if you are having a valid GATE score, you can directly go for MS or PhD at Germany. The next opportunity, very important, that either you can go for PhD program at IIM, that is Indian Institute of Management. So after GATE, you can go for management courses also. Either you can go for PhD program at IIM, or you can go for postgraduate diploma programs at NITI, right? Then the next option is that you can take research jobs as a junior research fellow or senior research fellow or research assistant, or in BARC, that is Bhabha Atomic Research Center, DRDO is there, CSIR is there. So you can also opt for research jobs. The next opportunity is that you can go for research courses. You can go for dual degree MTech plus PhD program, right? In that program, instead of MTech, you will take admission for MTech plus PhD integrated program is there. So many opportunities are there. Almost all the opportunities are there. As I said earlier, this GATE will open the gate. This GATE exam will open the gate of bright future for you. Now, let us discuss one by one. Public sector undertakings. I will not explain you what is public sector undertakings because this information is available on Google, right? You can go for that. Several public sector undertakings are there, right? Now, these are 10 Maharatna companies. These are 14 Navaratna companies, and there are also Miniratna companies. The total number of public sector undertakings are 98. So if you have a very good GATE score, you can directly get job opportunity in PSU, and the average package, as I said earlier, it is around 10 to 12 lakhs. Now the main question is this: many of the students they ask, sir, what is the package in PSUs? In different PSUs the package is different, but the average package is about 12 lakhs. Now here is a simple graph. If you have done your graduation from an ordinary engineering college, the average package, this data I have googled, right? I have downloaded it from Google, one of the research papers. If you do engineering from average institute or ordinary institute, the average package is 3 lakh. If you do engineering from a middle level college, right, the average package is 5 lakhs. But if you crack GATE exam, right, either you will go for PSUs or you will be doing your post graduation in IITs. After that the average package is 12 lakh. Now the advantage of public sector undertaking is that there is stability of the job, right? Then salaries are good, and also there are very good perks, right? Now this table, in this table you can see branch wise. Let's say if you are from civil, which are the different public sector undertakings in which you can work, right? Now for different branches the PSUs are different, right? Okay. Now as I mentioned earlier that if you go for ME or MTech or MS or direct PhD in IITs, ISC Bangalore or NITs, you will get very good stipend. If you go for ME or MTech program or MS program, you will get a stipend of around 12,400 or maybe 12,700 from this year. And for PhD, the stipend is around 28,000. Now this is the list of some of the IITs, right? ISC Bangalore is there and 23 IITs are there. There is NIRF ranking also, right? And NITs are also there. IIT means Indian Institute of Technology and NIT means National Institute of Technology. After IITs you can prefer NITs, right? Now whenever you are planning to take admission for any IIT or NIT, you can go for its NIRF ranking, that is National Institutional Ranking Framework. From that you will get idea about where that NIT or IIT stands. So this is list of some of the NITs. I will give you the link in which I will give every detail about every PSU, every IIT and every NIT, where it is located and what is its NIRF ranking. Now let us discuss about what is MTech, what is MS and what is PhD. Many of the students, they don't know what is the difference between MTech, MS and PhD. Now see, after GATE, either you can take admission for MTech or you can take admission for MS, that is Master of Science, or you can take admission for integrated PhD program. A regular MTech program is of about 2 years. MS program is of about 2 to 3 years. And if I talk about PhD program, it is of about 4 to 5 years. After MTech, you can go, if you are aiming at industry, you should go for MTech. But if you are aiming at research, if you are inclined towards research, if you are interested in research, you can go for MS or PhD. Now, MTech, it is 4 semesters, right? First, second and third semester there will be coursework, and only fourth semester there will be project work. But if I talk about MS, only in first semester coursework will be there, and 2, 3 and 4, this bracket indicates project work. So a lot of project work is there in MS because it is basically research oriented. If I talk about MTech, it is industry oriented. So only 1 semester project you have to do in MTech. Now in MS you have to do 3 semesters as project work, only 1 semester coursework will be there. If I am talking about PhD, only in first year, that is in first 2 semesters there is coursework, and after that there is project work. Third semester onwards, right? PhD may go up to 8 semester, or it may go up to 10 semesters also, right? It depends on to what extent your publications you have done, right? Okay, anyway. Also it depends on the universities and n number of factors are there. Okay. Now, as I told you that in MTech you have to focus on coursework, in MS you have to focus on project work, and in PhD your focus will be on project work. Now, for MTech you should have a high GATE score. But if you are having a low GATE score and if you are aiming at IIT and NIT, yes, then also opportunity is there for you. You can aim at MS. Many of the students, they don't know this, that with a low GATE score also you can enter into IITs and NITs, right? You can go for MS. With a low GATE score also you can go for PhD, integrated PhD program. Now, if you are doing your MTech, you will get teaching assistantship, which is probably or nearly it is about 8 hours a week, right? Then if you are taking admission for MS or PhD, then you will get research assistantship. And the working hours or the working load which is given to a TA or RA is about 8 hours a week, right? And these are the figures which reflect the stipend. If you are taking admission for MTech or MS, the stipend is about 12,400. And if you are taking admission for PhD, the stipend for first 2 years is about 25,000, and from third year onwards you will get stipend about 28,000. Now, after GATE, also you can take admission for higher education in foreign universities. Many of the students, they don't know this. They believe that GATE is only for higher studies in India. Remember that not only in India, but through GATE you can enter into foreign universities also. As I mentioned here, Nanyang Technological University, Singapore, NTU Singapore, it is a very good university which accepts GATE score. Then National University of Singapore, which is called as NU Singapore, RWTH-HN, TU Munich. These are the universities, and there are many more universities which accept GATE score. If you are having GATE score, you need not go for GRE, you need not go for TOEFL. I believe it is clear to you. Now these are the benefits of GATE exam. As already we have discussed, for 24 months, that is for a 2-year program, you will be getting a good stipend, right? Then you will get you can get job opportunities in PSUs. You can get JRF or SRF, Junior Research Fellow or Senior Research Fellows. Stipend is about 30 to 35,000 per month. Then you can also explore opportunities in BARC, right? These are some of the benefits of GATE exam. After GATE exam, you can get a very good teaching jobs. There are teaching jobs in NITs and IITs also, right? If you do MTech and PhD from a very good IIT with a good publications, then you can get a job in IITs or NITs, or a very good private universities also there, or maybe in foreign also some universities are there where you can take teaching jobs. So if you are aiming at very good teaching jobs, right, you should aim at a very high percentile GATE score. Then second is that foreign study through GATE exam. As I told you that GATE score is used as a criteria for judgment by universities like NTU Singapore, NU Singapore. We have discussed the name of the universities, right? So there also opportunities are there. Then the next is higher chance of recruitment in top MNCs after GATE exam. Many of the students, they don't know this. They believe that only if I want a job in PSU, then I should try for GATE. If I am aiming at MNCs, I should not go for, that is, if I am aiming in private companies, I should not take GATE exam. That is not true, dear friends. Even if you want good opportunities in private sector, if you want a job in LG Electronics, Samsung, Maruti, Siemens, Skoda, Cisco, all these companies require high qualified recruits, right? And if you are having a very good GATE score, then there are bright chances that you will get recruited in these companies. And the most important thing, you highlight this last statement on this slide. GATE might be compulsory for engineering students as GATE exit exam by AICTE, right? Maybe in future GATE may be considered as exit exam. You might be knowing that for D Pharmacy there is exit exam. Directly after completing the 2 years course, you will not get a license. You cannot start your medical. For that you have to give exit exam. Similarly for GATE, from some years onwards, AICTE is thinking of starting or considering GATE as an exit exam. Now, let us discuss what are the direct opportunities after GATE exam. Let's say a student is there, he wants to do his MTech as well as he wants a good job. So for that kind of students, LG Built India scholarship is there. The age limit for that scholarship is 23, and 3 streams are allowed: civil, mechanical and electrical. So if you are having a good GATE score, you will get stipend, as well as at the same time, rather than stipend, I will say you will get a job opportunity in L&T, right? And at the same time you can do your post graduation, that is MS or MTech, from IIT Chennai and IIT Delhi. So both objectives may get served. Let's say I want to do my post graduation also, and I also want a good job. Now for research organizations like CSIR and Bhabha Atomic Research Center, GATE will open the doors. As we discuss about NITI Mumbai, 2 courses are there: postgraduate diploma in industrial engineering and postgraduate diploma in project management. Then PG admissions in Singapore, Germany and Switzerland. Now this slide will speak about what are GATE marks, what is GATE score and what is GATE rank. Now marks is very simple. Out of 100, considering that positive and negative, how many marks you are getting? That is nothing but marks. Generally many students, they don't know that even if you get 86 marks in last year, if I talk about analysis of GATE 2020 mechanical last year, the student who was having 87 marks, he was the topper. His all India rank was 1 and his score was 1000, right? So if you get marks greater than 80, your score will be greater than 905 and your rank will be less than 40. You will be in first 40, right? Now these are the probable cutoffs depending upon the ranks. These are the cutoffs of the year 2020, right? Now if you are aiming at public sector undertakings and jobs, your rank should be less than 500. You have to rank among first 500 candidates in your respective domain. If you are aiming to do MTech in old IITs, your rank should be less than 1500. As I mentioned here, even if your rank is in between 2000 to 3000, and if you go for spot admission, there are some cases that the candidate's rank was 2900, right? And he got spot admission in old IIT, right? So this also you have to see very carefully, right? Now this is about NITI, then MTech in top new IITs, MTech in top NITs, MS in top IITs, right? You can go through this slide so that you will come to know that if, let's say if I am aiming at MS in top IITs, so what should be my GATE score? My GATE rank should be less than 3000, right? Okay, I believe that it is clear to you. Now even if you are aiming at private sector jobs, let's say fast moving consumable goods, which is called as FMCG, or finance or consulting or IT or analytics or oil and energy sector or core sector, let's say you are aiming to work in Caterpillar. See, in all these companies, in IBM, in Google, Amazon, Microsoft, everywhere, in all these companies, GATE score is preferred. So not only GATE will be useful for you from public sector undertakings, not only for PSUs but also for private sector jobs, this GATE will be beneficial for you. Now we have discussed about direct opportunities. Now these are some indirect opportunities after GATE exam. What are the indirect opportunities? Now GATE will give you a very sound foundation, very solid foundation of technical basics, which will be also useful for IES, that is Indian Engineering Services, which is also called as ESE commonly, right? Then even if you are aiming at other exams like JTO, Vizag Steel, SAIL, right? These are some of the PSUs which conduct their own exams. So there also GATE, preparation of GATE will help you. Now it will give you better preparedness for campus recruitment. Let's say even if you don't get a good GATE score, right, but your basics are cleared because of GATE, then it will give you good confidence so that you can face campus recruitment, right? So that you can face campus interviews. And also it is useful for academics, as because of GATE your basics will get brushed up, your basics will be very clear. Now GATE is called as mother of all exams. If you prepare for GATE exam, it will help you for junior engineer exam, it will help you for assistant motor vehicle inspector or RTO exam, it will also help you for technical MPSC, it will also help you for railway recruitment board, that is RRB. It will also be helpful for you if you are planning for IES, that is Indian Engineering Services, and all other exams. Wherever you require technical knowledge, this GATE will be useful. Why should I go for GATE exam? This already we have discussed, so I will not go into details. Already we have seen everything. Why should we go for GATE exams? Because plenty of opportunities will be there. Maybe if I am aiming at post-graduation, even if I am aiming at government sector, jobs in government sector, jobs in private sector, jobs in research, if I want to go and study abroad, everywhere GATE will be useful for you, right? So GATE is very important. Now what are the myths about GATE exam? Many students, they believe that GATE is very tough exam, right? That is not true. GATE is very simple, provided your simple fundamentals, basics are clear. It is not difficult. Many students, they think that I have to cover all topics. It is not there. For GATE, syllabus is there. If you are studying heat transfer, you have to study very specific bits. You need not study everything. If you are studying mathematics, you need not study everything. Just you have to study what is rank of matrix, what is eigenvalues, eigenvectors. 8 to 9 points are there. Only those you have to study. You need not study everything from M1, M2 and M3. That is engineering mathematics 1, 2 and 3. Just you have to see according to your syllabus. So you need not cover all topics. Then, this is a common myth. This is a common misunderstanding that many of the students, they think that if I attend all questions, then I will get more marks. It is not true. In GATE, there is negative marking, right? And as I told you, the topper was having 87 marks. So even if you get more than 70 marks, your percentile will be around 95 or more than 90. So you need not attempt all questions. If you are doubtful, if you are skeptical about some of the questions, just leave it. You can take a chance that if you know that the answer is out of these two only, A or B, then you may take a chance, right? But if you don't know the option, don't simply take a chance that you don't know the question, you don't know the options, and simply you are ticking at the last moment. Please don't do it. Even if you get 50 marks, there are bright chances that you will get a very good IIT or NIT. Many of the students, they do this mistake at the last moment. They think that I have solved only 50 marks. With this 50 marks, where will I stand? And they take a chance for remaining 50 marks and they may go in negative, and because of that their GATE score or percentile or rank goes down. Okay. Now, many of the students, they think that complete syllabus knowledge of graduation is required. As I told you that only selective bits you have to study it very properly. Many students, they think that luck is required. Undoubtedly luck is required, but it is only 1%. 99, or in my language I will say that I always tell to my students, it is not 1% also. It is 0.0001%. 99.99999% efforts is required, and that too directional efforts, right, in a specific direction. Now, many of the students, they think that lakhs of students are giving, and how will I get a rank less than 5,000 or how will I get a rank less than 500? Please remember that the real competition is not with the lakh students. There are many students, only for namesake they take this exam. If someone asks me what I am doing, I should have some answer. That's why they will take GATE exam. That's why they will fill the form of GATE exam. There are many students, I will say almost 80% of the students are like this, only for namesake they take GATE exam. So we should not be bothered about whether lakhs of aspirants are applying or whether it is in thousands. The real competition, maximum it is up to in 4 to 5,000 candidates only, right? And we need not worry. I believe in a simple philosophy that, let's say an interview is there and 100 candidates are there, and only let's say 2 posts are there. So I always believe that even if 1 post is there, that is sufficient. How many posts do I need? I need only 1 post. So if 1 post is there, that is more than sufficient. So you should have that kind of mindset whenever you are preparing for GATE exam. No, you should not think of coming in first 1,000. Your dream should be like, I should have single digit GATE rank. I should have a rank up to 9. Or let's say at the maximum I will have 2 digit rank. I will have a rank up to 99 only. So my percentile should be more than 99 percentile. So my score out of 100 at any condition, I have to score 80 plus. Now this is the exam pattern for GATE exam. It is for 3 hours. 65 questions are there, and as you know, the paper is of 100 marks. GATE is a 100 marks paper. That 100 marks you have to attempt within 3 hours, and 65 questions are there. Some of the questions carry 1 mark, some of the questions carry 2 marks, right? And as I told you, 3 types of questions are there. One is MCQ, one is MSQ, and one is numerical answer type questions. That is NATs, right? 3 hours, 180 minutes. Now this is distribution, but I will not talk more about this distribution of marks. Now as I told you, 3 types of questions are there. One is multiple choice question, second is multiple select question, and third is numerical answer type question. Now MCQs, as I already told you, that out of 4 options only 1 will be correct. If you get it correct, you will get +1. If you get it wrong, you will get -1/3. If you don't attempt it, you will get 0 marks. So it is very simple. If I attempt it and if it is right, I will get +1. If I don't attempt it, I will get 0. If I attempt wrong answer, then I will get -1/3. And similarly for 2. If it is correct, +2. If you are not attempting it, 0. If you are attempting the wrong answer, you will get -2/3. Then let us discuss about multiple selection questions. These are introduced from this year, right? Now for multiple select questions, one or more than one objectives may be correct, right? Now there is no negative marking for MSQs. Let us take a very simple example. Which of the following represents the value of standard atmospheric pressure? Many of the students, even if you are from different backgrounds, you might be knowing that in 11th or 12th you have studied atmospheric pressure, and you know that it is equivalent to 760 millimeters of mercury. Now here option B is 76 centimeters of mercury. That is correct. Option 1, if you convert this height into pressure by the formula P is equal to rho GH, you will get the answer as 101.4 kilopascal. So first option is correct, second is correct, third is not correct because it is 98.1 kilopascal. The correct is 101.4 kilopascals. And the last option, if you convert this into height of water, the answer comes out to be 10.3 meters of water. Many of the students from mechanical, they know this concept of equivalent height, right? They know that atmospheric pressure is also equivalent to pressure exerted by 10.3 meters of water. So the correct options are A, B and D. I repeat, the correct options are A, B and D. So if you tick this one, A, B and D, and if the question is for 2 marks, you will get 2 out of 2. Now if you tick only A and B, right? If you tick only A and B, if you don't correct D, you will get 0 marks. If you tick A, B and C, then also you will get 0 marks. What I mean to say, there is no negative marking as well as there is no partial marking, right? You don't know how many options are correct, whether only one option is correct or more than one options are correct. There may be case that all 4 options are correct. And if in that case, if let's say all options are correct, and if you tick A, B, C and D, then only you will get 2 out of 2. If you tick only A, B and C, right, there is no partial marking, directly you will get 0. You cannot claim that my answer was partially correct, right? Either you will get full marks or you will get 0 marks, but there is no negative marking in multiple selection questions. I believe that it is clear to you. Now I told you that in numerical answer type questions, you have to use numerical keypad and the range of answers will be provided, right? Your answer must fall in that range. There is no negative marking. You have to round off the answer, right? Okay. Now GATE marks distribution. Out of 100 marks, 15 marks are for aptitude, right? 15 marks are for aptitude. There are 10 questions of aptitude. 5 questions carrying 1 mark and 5 questions carrying 2 marks. 5 ones are 5 and 5 2s are 10. So 5 plus 10, that is 15. So if you are aiming at GATE exam and if you are in first year, then you can start preparing aptitude from that moment only. This will help you. In GATE, every mark is important. 15 marks are there only for general aptitude. 15 marks are there for mathematics and 70 marks are there for your respective technical domain. Let's say if I am from mechanical, then from mechanical subjects will be there for 70 marks. 15 marks will be there for mathematics and 15 marks will be there for general aptitude. Okay, I told you that 15 marks will be there for mathematics and 70 marks will be there for subject knowledge. So this is mark allocation, 15 plus 15 plus 70, mathematics plus general aptitude plus technical section. Now, as I told you that the exam is for 3 hours, it is CBT, that is computer based test. You have to attempt 65 questions and there are 100 marks. For MCQ, there is negative marking. For MSQs and NATs, that is numerical answer type and multiple select questions, there is no negative marking. Now these are some of the study tips. Very concentrate very hard on this slide. This slide is very important because this slide will, after studying this slide, you will come to know what is the difference between GATE exam and your university exam. Let's say in your university exam, the questions are generally explain this law, write this derivation. What kind of questions are there? In GATE, why and how kind of questions are there? Your university questions are very straightforward. Explain this and take your 8 marks. GATE questions are not like that. GATE questions in GATE exam, the confusion is intentionally created. In service level agreement, the paper setter, who is a professor from a reputed IIT, he is asked to create ambiguity. His objective is to create ambiguity, so that, let's say, if you do some mistake in step 2, so he will also work out that if a candidate does mistake in step 2, what wrong answer he will get, and that wrong answer will be there in the option. And that moment you are not knowing that your second step is wrong, but you will see that answer and you will feel as if, oh, my answer is correct, and you will tick that, right? You may get negative marks for that, right? So there may be, it may create confusion, right? So there is a difference between university level questions and GATE questions. University questions are straightforward. In GATE exam, confusion is intentionally created. Now, your GATE questions, they are less calculative, whereas your university questions are conventional and they are lengthy. Your university questions, they are single theory based questions. In theory of machines, the question will be only from theory of machines. But in GATE exams, the question may be a combination of theory of machines and thermodynamics. The question may be a combination of thermodynamics and mathematics. So multiple theory based questions will be there. Now these are some of the study tips. You have to understand GATE syllabus. Initially you have to go and study the GATE syllabus, then only you should start preparing. You should collect important information and resources. You should study only high quality and relevant books, right? Your aim should be, it is not possible that you can attempt 100 marks, right? You may, even if you attempt 90 marks, it is a very good attempt. Never omit any subject. Even if a subject is there for 2 marks, just go and look that what specific article from that subject they are answering, and prepare that article only. But never omit any subject. Now 30 marks is there for aptitude and maths. If you are preparing for GATE exam, I will recommend you that every day for 2 hours, 1 hour exclusively you should prepare for aptitude, and 1 hour you should exclusively dedicate for mathematics. Because they will give you 30 marks, and these 30 marks are very important. If you are aiming at PSUs or if you are aiming at good IITs, these 30 marks are very important. Solve as many previous year GATE question papers as you can, or GATE problems as you can. After going through GATE problems, you will come to know what kind of depth, what kind of questions you are going to face, and that will help you a lot. That will help your mindset, right? Then you should make proper revision notes. You should revise the formulas frequently. You should practice test. From that practicing test, you will come to know where you are going to wrong, which areas you have to develop, right? Then you should practice quizzes. Then you should use online quizzes and tests to check your performance. Practice makes a man perfect. You have to remember that. Now for GATE, these are some of the tips. Now, if you are aiming, right, let's say method of substitution is there. You can see in the example, an equation is given, y plus 80 square upon 76 y square is equal to 20. And let's say 4 options are there. Now even if you look at this equation, you will come to know that in second term y square is there. So even if y is negative, that y square will be positive. So the second term is positive, right? So y will be equal to 20 minus this positive term. So y will be obviously less than 20. Now you know that y is less than 20. If 4 options are there, out of 2 options, let's say they are more than 20, having values more than 20, and 2 options are there, they are having values less than 20. Now you know that the answer is either of these 2. Now substitute any of the value of y in this equation, and maybe you will get correct one. If not, then the second value may be correct, right? So you have to go for this kind of method of substitution or method of elimination. You may use, right? It depends on the question. You have to solve that question in minimum time. Now remember that conventional programmable calculator is not allowed at the time of GATE exam. This is the main hurdle. You practice on conventional programming calculator, and that is not allowed over there. Let's say an angle is there which is 30 degrees, 6 minutes and 36 seconds. So you must know how to round it off. It will be 30 plus 6 upon 60 plus 36 upon 3600. So that will be 30 upon 11 degrees. So this you have to focus. Now time management is very important. You have to practice mock test. Then you have to it is very difficult to answer all the questions, and this you will come to know only when you practice the test, because within 180 minutes you have to attempt 65 questions, right? But as compared to other exams, this is quite easy. In banking exams, in 1 hour you have to attempt 200 questions or 100 questions. 60 minutes, 100 questions. Here only 65 questions and 180 minutes. Undoubtedly the depth will be quite high. Now I will not talk more about what should be your schedule and what should be your plan. I will just tell you one hint that you should give focus on mathematics as well as aptitude, right? Every day you should prepare mathematics as well as aptitude. Now you have to identify ABCD category subjects. Which subjects you have to highlight, which subject you have, which are the most important subjects that you have to focus first. Now see, the innermost circle is most important subjects, then you have to study important, then you have to study yellow, that is less important subjects, and then at the end you have to study unimportant subjects. So your priority should be this. You have to prioritize the subjects, right? If I am talking about mechanical, A grade subjects are this. Which are the type A subjects? Engineering mathematics, it comes for 15 marks. Aptitude comes for 15 marks. If you are from computers or ENTC or any background, mathematics and aptitude will be there in type A subjects, right? Then type B subjects. I will not discuss about these in detail because this is from mechanical, but from this you will come to know that initially you have to prepare type A subjects, then you can go for type B subjects, then type C subjects, and if time permits you can prepare also type D subjects, right? In that also you can see that what should be my focus, what exactly I am supposed to prepare. Let's say power plant engineering, I need not prepare everything, I just have to prepare Rankine cycle, Brayton cycle, that's it. If I am preparing IC engines, just prepare Otto cycle, diesel cycle, dual cycle, that is more than sufficient. Once you go through the question papers from 2010 to 2020, you will come to know that what exactly your focus should be. So while preparing, you have to prepare like this. You have to identify type A subjects, type B subjects, type C and type D. So you have to categorize the subjects. Now these are the do's and don'ts for GATE exam, but I will not discuss this much in detail. Maybe I will give you link and you can download that. From that link you will come to know, right? Okay, these are some of the books. I am not going to discuss this part also. In the link I will give you all the subjects. I will conclude by saying that the future cannot be predicted, but it can be definitely made. And from this moment onwards, you can start preparing for GATE. You can start your journey towards a bright future. I thank you, and please do subscribe my channel. Once I get subscribers more than 1,000, I'm planning to start online YouTube videos. Thank you very much.